Welcome back to Switzer. Many employers and parents scratch their heads and wonder what's going on inside the heads of millennials and Gen Y young Australians. Claire Madden of Hello Clarity is an expert on these generations, and she's set to give us a bit of clarity on this very interesting subject. Thanks for coming on, Claire.
Yeah, great to be here.
Now, I should say to the audience that I heard Claire speak in a conference in Bega, and I found it completely enlightening. Tell us about Hello Clarity.
Yeah, well, that's a company I established, and it really helps organisations understand the changing times and then how to best position themselves to engage. So I do a lot of presentations explaining what's happening in the big social trends and the emerging generations being a big focus of that, and then also work with in a consulting kind of manner to help organisations with their communications and their strategic engagement around that.
Yeah, so you must get employers who get you on board to help them with their staff. And,
that's right.
And also business owners who understand their market.
Absolutely. It's so critical, and I think it's noisier than ever out there and harder to get cut through. So I think we need to be a bit more intentional with our messaging and with our audiences and how to get that engagement.
Okay, let me ask some basic questions that our viewers would love me to ask. Why is Generation Y so challenging?
Yeah, that's right. And employers can be pulling out their hair about Generation Y, can't they?
Okay.
They were born between 1980 and 1994, your Gen Ys. Then you've got your Gen Zs born 1995 to 2009. So even your Gen Zs are entering the workforce.
So
but
the millennials are really Gen Zs?
Yeah, Gen Y, Gen Z, that's right. So I guess in their formative years, they had the internet and a lot of the digital technologies which have been transformative. And I think that changed the way that Gen Ys think. Change the way they problem solve, change the way they access information. Now it's within, a few seconds, a few clicks of a button, and the common, answer when you don't know what an answer is, oh, just Google it.
Yeah.
So they therefore approach work differently. They expect quick solutions, being able to innovate, being able to collaborate across platforms, using their networks. And they have, I guess, job mobility and flexibility rather than security. So they're not sort of thinking one job for life. So it changes their whole approach.
Yeah. Why do they have such security within themselves that, like in the old days, people got a great job, try and keep as long as you can, and then maybe go to another good job and use that leverage? Why don't they have that kind of mentality? Yeah,
that's right. And I'm inspired by, say, my grandfather, who worked 35 years at Prince of Wales Hospital in the maintenance department and was so faithful and kept that job for so long. And then you see, I guess, our generation, but we've grown up, I guess, without any great financial depression or anything like that, and have been quite empowered, have had a lot of the basic needs provided for us, and have had a lot of options, unprecedented amount of options.
Do you blame us, the parents, for your Generation Y, I presume?
I am Gen Y, and I think that what we need
good Gen Y.
Thank you, Peter. I think we need to understand it is the world that they've grown up in. It's the only world they've known. They're not coming at work trying to be annoying or frustrating. They will come with the perspective that their generation's been shaped with those. So I think a lot of the generation gaps can be bridged by some time spent to understand why do you think like that, or why do they approach work like that, rather than just getting frustrated. But it's definitely the world that's been shaped for them that they've stepped into, and I guess these emerging technologies have been so transformative that we're still working out the impact of that, and how that works.
Well, I've got to be honest, because I've got probably 20 Gen Ys in my staff, and they're terrific. Yeah. And they are. They've stayed a long time, 2 or 3 weeks. No, I'm joking. They've stayed a long time. And I've got to say, John Maxwell, who's a great speaker on leadership, said if bosses are complaining about Gen Y, well, they're like a leader who looks behind, and if no one's there, you're not a leader, you're just going for a walk. And we have to understand the people we're working with and get the best out of them, I guess you would say.
Most definitely, Peter. Gen Y and Gen Z are going to make up 64% of our workforce by just 2025. So we can't ignore them. We can't afford to just do things as we've always done them and expect that generation will adapt in that way. Of course, they'll adapt to different things, but we really need to take the time to understand how we can get the most out of them. As you say, they can be absolutely fantastic, engaged employees, but they will want to have a sense of ownership, a sense of belonging, and a sense of them able to contribute, not just fulfill tasks. They'll want to be, they're used to having a voice. They've been empowered with a voice from the youngest of age. So when it comes to work, they want to be able to contribute in a meaningful way.
Has the arrival of Twitter and Facebook given them, in a sense, the right to comment? Where once upon a time, you know, my generation, unless you were lucky enough to get a job like I did, where you became a commentator, you waxed lyrical about all the crappy views you had, you couldn't really say it apart from the pub or a dinner party.
That's right. Social media has empowered everyone with a microphone and definitely given them a voice from the youngest of age. And we've now got platforms where they can collaborate. Like, their idea of an encyclopedia is one they can change and contribute to. Incredibly different to how it was written by the experts in the past. And so definitely we've given them a voice, and they do like to be able to use it.
You kind of implied when I heard you speak that even Generation Z are probably going to be even more challenging for employers and parents. Why is that?
Well, it's just that their technology is more immersed into their world from the youngest of age. So it's not like we're going to just, you know, revert back to but in the same way, I think that, like, there are some swingbacks happening in society, like, oh, the need for authentic offline communities are being recognised, even though we've got many online friends. And I think in the same way there'll be that, you know, in some way a balance with some of those factors, but nonetheless Gen Zs are the most global youth culture we've ever. The digital disruptions affected them more than any previous generation.
So do you employ any Gen Zs in your business?
On the brink of Gen Y, the younger end, but yeah, definitely I think that they bring a lot of innovation and are so digitally savvy and willing to learn and grow. So I think that if you can inspire them, they are some brilliant stuff.
Do you find that they like to feel as though they're a member of the Hello Clarity is like a tribe or a family? A lot of young people have come from broken families, and therefore I presume they look for families that they create for themselves that they relate to. Is that an important thing for a leader to understand?
Most definitely. The sense of community and belonging is for young people. It's a basic human need that we have, and I think that whilst we've got more connections than ever before through our social networks, we've somewhat exchanged for depth of relationship in our communities, and we're more isolated in many ways. So people are looking for their workplace to provide not only the paycheck and a meaning, but yeah, definitely that belonging community.
Should a leader of these groups take on the role of saying, these people are looking for a leader, but I have to understand the kinds of things that they respect? Yeah,
I think it's really good to understand leadership from their perspective. In the past, we've had leadership more hierarchical based, more authoritarian structures, a bit of a ladder, corporate ladder.
I pay you, do as you're told.
Exactly, and you work your way up that ladder. Years, but the leadership styles which younger generations are responding to more effectively, and I think even other generations as well, are those collaborative ones, which, you still absolutely to make those final decisions and decide, you know, but to have a process which involves people in a collaborative nature, part of finding the best solution and process is a really empowering style they respond to.
Well, I know in your presentation you have some fantastic slides. What is scariest thing for a Gen Y or a Gen Z?
I think there's a few symbols that maybe a Gen Z will have a meltdown over, and one of them is when that line comes up.
That's right.
I mean, they're a generation who haven't had to wait for anything. I think also the poor Wi-Fi signal.
Yeah, poor Wi-Fi.
Poor Wi-Fi, because they're constantly connected, and I think the greatest meltdown you see them have is when that battery is out of charge on their phone.
That little
red bit comes and it just ceases to exist till they can plug that thing in.
Now, if people want to know more about your business, obviously your website is Hello Clarity, but you want to finish it off?
That's right. helloclarity.com.au or just clairemadden.com.
Yeah, and I do love this
infographic.
Infographic that she holds up. You can see the influences, and it's a very, very interesting one.
You can grab that on the websites as well.
Great stuff. Thanks for joining us.